Hey guys, it's Tam. So it has been a couple of months since I've done a vlog for you guys, and I thought I'd start off with a vlog to sort of talk about, something that's been coming up in the industry a lot about people's success and how people can still succeed in life without a degree or going to university or being a doctor or being a scientist or anything like that. And it's kind of made me think of a story of when I was a kid, and it's something that I wanted to share with you guys and hopefully give you guys a bit of light as well, and just obviously as well for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. So I'm literally just talking to camera as myself, no edits or anything like that, but I just wanted to share with you a story that happened to me when I was 15 years old. My family obviously is originally from Germany and Brazil, and on my dad's side we have a grandma, and that grandma is from Hungary. And when I was very young, I never got to meet my grandma, and I was always wanting to meet her. And I used to always say to my mum and my dad, I really want to meet her. Have never met her in person. I don't know what she's like. I really would like to meet my grandma that I keep speaking to on the phone in German growing up. And my dad was very confident about me meeting her. My mum, not so much, and I'll go into that a little bit later. But I remember I did my first solo trip at the age of 15 from Australia to Hungary. It was one of the most scariest experiences of my life. Also, probably one of the most exciting as well. I don't know if you've ever flown on a plane by yourself to another country, let alone overseas. But when you're 15 and you don't know where you're going, it was definitely an eye-opener for me, but it's also probably brought up my excitement and adventurous side of me for flying. So I've always loved flying since being a kid, and I've always loved traveling as well since being so young. But for those of you who don't know much about me, my family, I have my mum's side of the family who are all from Brazil, and then I've got my dad. And to be completely truthful, we're not a very big family, and we're not very close as well. I still have my mum and my brother in my life, and that's pretty much it. But this trip when I went to go visit my grandma has really shaped me as a person now. And I always reflect on that moment and on that journey as well, because it has definitely taught me a lot about life, and it's definitely taught me a lot about believing in yourself, and how family, even though they are your family, aren't always going to be the ones who support your dreams. So I remember flying over to Hungary when I was very young, and I remember getting off the train, and I've never been to Hungary for starters, and I was Australian. When I say Australian, I was 15. My accent was very strong already, and I wasn't dressed for the occasion. And I remember when I first ran into her and gave her a big hug, her first comment was, "What are you wearing? You look like an absolute idiot." And I was in like skinny jeans, and I think back in the day that was when Avril Lavigne was so popular, so I was wearing really thick dark eyeliner. My hair was really dark as well. I was from that day, I don't think I was exactly what my grandma was expecting. And she's very European, and she has her own side of things as well. And I remember as the weeks went on and I was staying there with her, and obviously there's things that I do look back on and I do now see what she was talking about, but I was 15 and I wanted to go shopping, and I was looking at boys and all that kind of stuff, and she was all about going to the art gallery and looking at history and actually teaching me about Hungary and stuff, and I was just 15 and young and naive. And even little things that she was picking up that she wasn't happy with was things like how I should brush my teeth before I have breakfast. That's one of the things. Another thing was using, and this is something I had never seen before, but the bum cleaner, what are they called now? They have it all over Thailand, and I didn't even realize these exist. But when you go to the toilet, rather than just wiping your bum with toilet paper, they have the hose thing as well, and that was really big in Europe back then, in Hungary. And she commented on why I wasn't using that at all, and it was just not something that we have here in Australia. So that was completely very new to me too. And even just the way I would handwrite, it wasn't running writing. It was, your thick, big, bold letters. She hated that. And she even didn't like the way I ate food, or how I would sit at the table, and how the biggest thing she actually didn't like was that I wanted to become, when I was 15, a performer and an actor and dancer. That was my dream from a very young age. Like ever since I was 3, I wanted to be a dancer. I had my eyes set on that goal. I wanted to act and I wanted to be famous, and that was my dream. And she just couldn't understand it, and was just saying to me, you should be thinking about your education. That's not a job. What is your mum teaching you? I don't like your mum. She was saying all these really nasty things about my mum as well. And that's what it was like when I visited her. And I remember this one particular day, I must have just gotten up, and she had all her friends over. It was about 3 different old ladies sitting at the couch. And no, sorry, I didn't just get up. I remember now, I had gone somewhere. I think I went to the shops, and I'd come back. I remember now, and there was my grandma with her 3 ladies sitting on the couch drinking tea, laughing her head off. And then she said, "Tamara, come join us." So I sat there with my grandma and her 3 friends, and she goes, "This is this person. Her daughter is a doctor. Now over here, my friend, her son is a lawyer. And over here, my friend's daughter is a veteran. And over here, I have a granddaughter from Australia who wants to be a dancer," and just made a massive laugh about it. And they all cackled and laughed and made a massive fuss about it. And I remember storming off into my room, and I was furious. And then at that point, she had come in as well, and she had tried to hit me. She even tried to say nasty things about my mum. And the last thing she really said to me that really made me get angry and go crazy was when she called me, "I will be forever like my mum, a Brazilian slut, and I'll be a parasite, and I'll be pregnant by the age of 20, and I'll be living on the streets or probably on drugs, and not having any money whatsoever." So I remember calling my dad at the time and saying to him I wanted to come home, booked my flights back home early, and I remember writing her this letter. And I'm so big on writing, you guys should know by now. And I'm so big on journaling, and this is when I was journaling so much as well as a kid. But I remember writing her this letter, and I remember when I got on, she had to take me to the airport. I wrote this letter, and this letter basically said to her that I will prove her wrong. I may not want to be a lawyer, I may not want to be a doctor, I may not ever go to university, I may not ever study, and I may not ever be like that person who had a kid who is a doctor, who is studying and doing this, but I know what I believe in, and I know what I can do, and I know that if I put my heart and soul into anything, I will be the person I want to be. And I said to her, I'm proud of the person I am, and I am my mother's daughter, and I'm very proud of being half Brazilian and German, and I will prove you wrong one day. And that was the last thing I had written to her and said to her at the age of 15. And that's something I will never forget, because it motivated me. It broke me, definitely. The person I wanted to meet so much in my life was someone that I didn't expect. And it was, it's maybe very common in the European culture that, they say that you should be doing education and university and all that stuff. And you know what, to a point, I do agree about knowledge is key and about learning as well. But if you have the gift, and if you are an entrepreneur, or if you have a dream, or if you really want to do something in your life, then go out there and do it. And fuck whoever else says anything about that. Fuck them all, because at the end of the day, you are put on this earth for a reason. You have a purpose in your life, and it's better to be happy in doing something you love than being in something that you absolutely hate and doing that for the rest of your life. I could have chosen a different path in my life. I could have gone down that path of, studying and being a doctor or a lawyer. But obviously now I'm in fitness, and, yes, my path has changed, but it's still the same. It's still about inspiring you guys. It's still about giving you guys education and, inspiration as well, and teaching you guys about everything that I believe in, which is training, mental health, mindset, meditation, journaling, all these little things. And everything happens for a reason. And this story was meant to happen so that I know that I can reflect back now, over, this is going to show my age, over 10 years, that I can now say proudly and loudly that I have definitely achieved what I've always wanted to achieve. And it's really nice to reflect on that and hear that. And I just want to shed some light to those of you out there that if you are going through these things where people don't think you should be doing the things that you should be doing, that you should stop believing in yourself, that your dreams are not real dreams, they're just fantasy and it's never going to happen, and you're wrong, because you can put your heart and soul into anything and do anything if you do believe. And I have no hate for my grandma. I have no issue with her whatsoever, but that moment in my life has definitely been a pinnacle moment, because I've connected the dots to now, and that 15-year-old girl who was called a Brazilian parasite by my grandma, I'm pretty certain that I'm not that person ever, and I'm never going to be that person where she thinks I was going to be on the streets, pregnant at 20 with no money and probably on crystal meth. So, those are the things that she had said to me, and they're the things that have kept me going and staying motivated as well. So for those of you out there who have had this happen, never feel like you're alone. Remember, you are more than capable of anything as well. And I hope that this story has given you guys some guidance as well to believe in yourself, because you can do whatever you want. Just remember that. And I know I am a proof of that. And at the end of the day, I haven't even begun, and I cannot wait to keep going. So don't let people like that ever put you down and rain on your parade, because you are one in a million and you're amazing. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this YouTube video. I haven't done one in a very long time, so this is a freshie. It's going to be very interesting to post, so I would love your feedback on it as well. If you are interested in more of my YouTube stuff, please subscribe to my channel. And again, please follow me on Instagram too, and share with me your story as well, if you've had anything like this happen to you. And never forget how amazing and beautiful you are. I'm always here, and I love you guys, and thank you for following my journey as well.